The biggest challenge is to learn how to do your own thing.
They want to do it, but they're scared.
They're scared.
Yeah.
I think it's not for the faint-hearted.
Depending on where you're at, but the sheriff's department drive through RV parks.
Interesting.
Look for South Dakota plates.
If it's an egg-bearing female, they throw it back, and they don't only throw it back, they notch the tail to mark it for the next fisherman.
And really planning, people like, I just go with the flow. You know,
Right.
like, you can't do that,
Yeah.
especially when you're solo.
And she just celebrated her 104th birthday and is still out there hauling. She's a legend.
Kind of like a secret hack, because I heard about the websites, but doing the Facebook pages seems like you can get right in there.
Yeah, you can get right in.
Yeah.
For us, we travel in the RV a lot. Accommodations are very difficult.
Grab it with your thumb and your forefinger.
Okay.
So you pinch him like kind of in the armpit there.
Okay.
So no sticks and bricks basically at all.
No, everything we own is with us. Yeah, we just built the house June of 20, and then we sold it June of 22.
They mow your yard, free Wi-Fi,
Yeah.
clubhouse pool, all that stuff, and it's right on the North Carolina border.
The RV site that you guys have, are you able to rent that out when you're not there?
Rent it now.
Really?
Yeah.
When I thought we were coming up to Maine, I did not expect we to do any of this.
We heard there is a lobster bake going on in the RV park here, so we thought, let's go crash it. See you, Dexter. We'll be back. I don't know when. It has been beautiful weather here in Maine. I'm telling you, I feel like the fall colors are coming. It's very, very slight changes, but they're coming. There is a caravan going on right now. I think it's called Freedom Tours, and it's all related to big buses like Class A's, Super C's. They're all making their way throughout Maine as a group. Anyways, that's why they're having a lobster bake tonight. The fine folks at the RV park office invited us to come join, so we thought, you know what? We've never had an official lobster bake. We don't know how to properly eat lobster or cook it, so hopefully this could just be a learning experience for all of us.
And where they're having this, guys, you can't beat the views. I can't wait to show you. It's just
Phenomenal.
I think it's gonna be the coolest place to eat lobster here in Maine.
This is part of the campground. It comes down and then it overlooks the beautiful ocean here. It's worth the walk, trust us. This campground, pleasant surprises all the way around, I would say. With the views, it's low key. You just couldn't ask for more out of an RV park, especially what I like to think almost prime time, you know, with the fall colors. I feel like a lot of people are gonna be up here in the Maine area, so it's kind of nice that we were able to land this spot.
And the weather has been absolutely perfect. 70s during the day, a little chilly in the morning, but the thing is, we haven't seen rain, and when we did, it was just like one day of rain.
Y'all cooking already? Oh my goodness.
We're professionals.
Wow, look at this. You guys got the whole setup here and everything.
Right? They just went to go get the lobster, so that should be back in like 15 minutes or so.
Oh,
so that's
okay.
like the best part.
Well, I'm personally really excited because I've never done anything like this. I don't even know how to eat a lobster properly. You know what I mean? It's so nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Cool.
This is our amazing camp host crew that's gonna cook it all.
I love the shirt, by the way.
Thank you.
That's really cool. That's so
Mine
fun.
is dog hair.
Hey, I got cat hair.
Wait,
so
who
we're all
here's
good.
the lobster expert?
Her.
You are with the red glove. You put that on at the right time. She's like, I love this. I mean, look at the amount of pots. This is serious. We're not messing around. Yeah.
This is what we're looking at. Look at this beautiful scenery. It is about one of the most spectacular views I've seen in the longest time. It's everything I imagined Maine would be. Let's just say that. I love the preparation, by the way. You gotta have lots of these on hand, I'm sure. Things are gonna get messy and quick, I bet.
So are we all preparing for, like, when the lobsters get here, it's going down kind of situation?
Yeah,
like,
so basically, I'm walking these guys through like prep and serving, and then Eric will be back and a truck's gonna come down, and then we bring the lobster out, and at that time, it should be around 5, and that's when the guests will start coming down too.
Okay.
And then we usually be like, come here, who wants to hold lobster? And so yeah, then usually we're like playing with them and and then
right?
yeah, we take their bands off, so we'll show them how to do that, and then we'll pop them in. And we wait a little bit. I usually we'll have everyone sit, and I do a little speech kind of about like a welcome kind of speech, and then we eat.
How often do you guys do this?
So we do them kind of during the peak season, like July and August, mostly on Saturdays. We used to do them every Saturday, and that was a lot, and they kind of like pulled it back a little bit, so it's kind of like every other week. We just we do holiday weekends and like big weekends here.
I would talk to Carrie the other day. She's a lobster lady in Rockport. Yeah.
The lobster
and she
lady.
said she can't get hard shell anymore.
This is the kind of the time of year when hard shell is like they've stopped molting in the summer, but then they move offshore too. So if the demand's not there, they won't fish for them as much.
I see.
Yeah, the industry kind of like dribbles out in the summer. Then people move offshore and do like deeper sea, but that usually goes overseas.
The hard is supposed to be more meatier, right? Or
yeah,
more
it has a
robust.
different taste. They say some say the soft shell is sweeter. I like the taste of a hard shell, but
We're gonna get the perfect way to eat a lobster too, right?
Absolutely.
The whole education.
Absolutely.
Because I've had my family asking me, like, have you learned how to properly eat the lobster? And I was like, no, I know. I can't look like a fool.
Stuff I avoid. But
Oh, is that coming? The gross green stuff?
But that's a that's a delicacy, though. It's a delicacy, right?
Is everyone okay with being on camera here?
Sure.
Or if it makes it to YouTube, is that okay? Okay, thank you. Just
good side.
all right. I'll make sure. We'll get the.
Get my skinny side.
Everyone's camera ready. Someone said you used to have a marine biology background.
yeah, I did go to school back in the day for fisheries science, and so
Okay.
I worked out in Alaska for a few years
Oh, did you
before I
really?
started traveling myself. So Drew and I found our way here because we were full-timing on a sailboat for a while, moved to an RV, and then this job fell into our laps and we couldn't say no. So
Sailing the other day, and a lot of our audience was like, don't buy a sailboat, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
RVing is the way to go, but I don't know, what do you think? Do you
To
think
be on the water,
sailboat?
though, that's cool.
it's amazing, but yeah, you got to be a little more self-sufficient because there's a little less resources out there. You can't just like pull over at a gas station. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, are we sinking?
I asked her the other day, were you worried about pirates coming on board?
That's what I'm
Yeah.
thinking.
You know,
Yep,
because
I
It's
guess
like, yeah, they tell you what's the zones that are worrisome, kind of, and you just steer away from those areas, or
Definitely,
could it be anywhere?
Yeah, I mean, it's like anything. It kind of depends what level of excitement you're after, how rugged you want to get out there. I mean,
once my kids were out, I was gonna live in it full time.
Wow.
So I sold my house, and I'm still working. I lived in it park for 7 years, and then I met my husband.
Cool.
And he had an Airstream. We met walking dogs. He had retired early at 58. And he said, well, let's get on the road. And I'm like, it's interesting about this campground because we love Maine and we live in Florida, and I usually do all the planning.
Sure.
He was so excited to find this place.
Yeah.
And it was sitting right there. I had taken a picture of him, and he turned around and he goes, we're coming back here.
Oh,
we're going to
cool.
be campground hosts here. You live for the day.
You live like every day is
absolutely.
your
Isn't
last.
that the truth?
You really do.
Yeah.
This was
What do you feel like the biggest struggle being a solo female traveler is? Because we have a lot of women that reach out.
Yeah, yeah.
They want to do it, but they're scared.
They're scared,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I think it's not for the faint-hearted. You know what I mean? I mean, I was pretty stressed on the way up here. And I'm like, I was such a good passenger because I would like, you know, I love like quirky roadside stuff, you know, and I'd be, you know, doing the research and, oh, we're going to do lunch here and we're going to do this and taking pictures along the way. And he's like, you know, the whole, although he was always really good about, Jojo, you need to learn how to drive this truck. You need to learn how to tow this. You need to, you know, I mean, as far as setup and all that. Plus, I
That's
lived in mine for
huge.
7 years.
Yeah,
so.
absolutely.
It's mostly fear.
So that's a
Shepherd
huge
mix.
thing, is like figuring out both sides of the equation, like being able to set it up, you know, like what your
Yeah.
husband had recommended you do.
Yeah,
you know, that was massive.
and really planning. People like, I just go with the flow. You know,
Right.
like you can't do that,
Yeah.
especially when you're solo.
So where's the go-to place? The go-to place to get the lobsters? Jeff? I'm Kyle, by the way.
Eric.
Nice to meet Eric.
Rachel.
Rachel, nice
We're
to meet
the
you.
one with the cat.
Oh,
Yeah.
walking by with the cat.
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw your video from last week from Rhode Island. I'm from Rhode Island originally.
Really?
It's like I would not have taken that campground.
Oh my goodness.
Because I know how it is there. I'm like, nope. We stayed when we were coming back. We winter in Colorado.
But we also got caught in a parking garage in Providence.
No kidding.
Oh yeah.
So do tell me about this. How did that go with the parking garage scenario?
Well, so we've got a dually. So we've got we've got a Denali 3500.
Oh my.
So with an 8-foot bed. So it's like we're always driving all the way to the top usually because that's where the least people are. I'm not usually worried about clearance because we don't have a lift on ours, but it's always that width clearance.
100%. 100%. Yeah.
Just trying to park is.
Oh, no doubt. Wow. Look at these guys. This is the real deal. Let me tell you. This is the real deal. Can I pick one up? Yeah. So crazy. Yeah, please do tell.
Grab it with your thumb and your forefinger.
Okay.
So you pinch them like kind of in the armpit there.
Okay.
And they may flap, but don't worry, they're not going to hurt you.
Something like that?
Yep.
This is really happening.
Oh my gosh, how sweet.
This is crazy. Wow.
They just came out of Rockport Harbor. We used a local guy who fishes out of Rockport. So we like tell him how many we need for the bake, and he gets them that morning, and then he sinks this little trap for us, and then we go pick it up right before the bake.
You got to go in for the gusto.
I mean, I had hermit crabs growing up, but this is definitely, it's a little larger.
A little bigger.
A little bigger.
Now, how do you tell the difference between a male and a female?
This set of swimmerettes, and if they're hard, they're a man.
Okay.
And if they're a male, and if they're soft, they're a female. So they're a little soft. So that's a lady.
So this is a female here. Okay. Wow. And there's probably a whole ordeal with like, you can only keep so many females or males.
The lobstering industry in Maine is like the longest industry in the
Okay.
U.S. continuous for fisheries.
Gotcha.
And because it's so sustainable and that they're only allowed to keep a certain size,
Yeah.
they have to measure from the eye socket down to the end of the carapace, and it has to be between 3.5 inches and 5.
Wow.
So the too big they throw back, the too small they throw back, and if they have eggs, if it's an egg-bearing female, they throw it back, and they don't only throw it back, they notch the tail to mark it for the next fisherman, and you're not allowed to take
Interesting.
an egg-bearing female.
Is this gonna be like sauce or butter? Butter. You gotta do the butter. That's great. Oh yeah.
I'm originally from Massachusetts, but currently living in Derry, New Hampshire, and I'm here for the summer.
We're camping.
Yeah.
Great. So do you kind of hop around different places, or you always come back here in the
This
summer?
is my first
time
doing it, and
That's
I'm
great.
loving it.
Yeah. You think you'll be back, or do you like to go somewhere
if they
new?
want me, but I've got my feelers out there for
Yeah.
because they're advertising now for next season. I had 5 offers at the beginning of the season. State of Vermont gave me an offer 3 days after they did, and I said, I'm already committed. I'm glad because this is part-time and I'm having fun.
Find the job or
Through the different websites that are out there, Work Campers.
Okay.
Work Campers for hire, and then you go on it and it's all work campers looking for work. But you look at every website and then you look at the comments and you look who's, like somebody will say, I'm looking for work in North Carolina.
Yeah.
And then you look at the replies
Yeah.
and then you connect with them through the replies.
Okay. So that's kind of like a secret hack, because I heard about the websites, but doing the Facebook pages seems like you can get right in there.
Yeah, you get right in.
Yeah, that's great.
Nice to meet you, Susie. I didn't catch your name.
David.
David.
Is the YouTuber.
Oh, I love it. So you guys are doing the RV thing?
Yeah.
What's some hurdles you guys are going through?
Well, I guess the space. The
Space,
space, you
yeah.
know. We actually started to, little by little, started to lean up.
Yeah.
Very simplistic.
All right, I always ask this question. What's one bit of information you tell somebody else out on the road looking to get into RVing? If they're being held back, what's your advice to get out on the road?
Just jump in.
Okay.
And now he's a handy guy.
Yeah.
So, we got this 20-year-old Dutch Star, Newmar Dutch Star.
Okay.
We got a great deal. It's beautiful.
I think that was the thing, right? The biggest challenge is to learn how to do your own thing. I saw you doing, like when you were fixing the brakes, I think, in the south,
yep.
before you brought it to the to the
Actually,
company
Grand
to
Design,
fix it.
and I failed miserably, but that's how you learn. You have to do it. Fail once, fail twice, and then maybe you'll learn something out of it all. But that's the name of the game. Incredible. These burners are ripping hard. They are ripping hard. I mean, it just sounds like a jet engine taking off. Very, very, very cool.
They're ready?
Yeah. You got it perfect.
This is the cooking show you didn't know you needed. Take notes, guys. You look professional.
Do I? Oh, that's awesome. Now, put your hands on
Even though these claws won't get me.
Those won't bother you.
So
You're doing amazing. Yeah, so it's just you kind of wiggle a finger under there and just kind of pull off.
She's in the danger zone now.
Woo!
I did it. Wait.
How's the caravan going? You enjoying it?
Yeah, so far.
What's some of the benefits of it? Is it just your hands off?
For us, we travel in the RV a lot. Accommodations are very difficult.
Oh, okay.
We have a new coach, so it doesn't matter to us, but these campgrounds are going around now saying if your coach is 10 years or older, you can't camp here.
Yeah, I've heard that.
The prices of a campsite now are $50 plus.
Like for instance, the prices are going up at all the RV parks. When you do a tour like this, do you feel like there's an overall savings for those? Really?
I don't know if there's a savings or not, but it's a lot easier to do.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we'd have to get up and go to a restaurant, find a restaurant, somewhere local to do this. You know, so they plan everything out for you. And all you have to do is get up and follow directions.
That's amazing.
And we've done a lot of, we've done almost all of Europe. This country is just as nice as all Europe. I mean, yesterday when we were up on the high part of the Camden, or looking down over into the bay.
Beautiful.
Just like the Mediterranean.
Yeah. Oh, I got it.
Doesn't look any different. My hobby after I retired is I fix RVs for people for free. All I do is buy the parts,
Wow.
I ripped out all the electrical. I ripped out all the, I've got a 55-inch TV that comes up and down out of the floor.
Wow, that's
It
amazing.
has a residential refrigerator.
That is so cool.
It has an induction cooktop.
Oh my goodness, you are a jack of all trades, I tell you.
If you're willing to learn.
I agree with that. I've been trying to do that myself. Trying to always keep learning. Doing projects on our own.
No, in your case, you got to.
Yeah, you got to. Because out on the road, you got to be your own advocate. I mean, no one's coming to save the day.
And you know, unfortunately today, they don't troubleshoot.
No.
They just replace parts.
Yep.
You know, I don't do that. When I take out a part, I tear that part apart to find out what it cost us to go around.
Maine is the #1 producer in the U.S. For lobster still. They're bringing in about 90 million pounds, bringing in about over $1 billion to our industry every year, to the economy. This is like the star of our campground. We feel so lucky to have something like this, especially in this area. It's pretty hard to find coastline that you have access to. The secret is out about the mid-coast. It's getting harder and harder to find land around here. So you're looking straight out into the Atlantic Ocean, more specifically the Penobscot Bay, more specifically Rockport Harbor. So that direction is going to be Camden, that direction is going to be Rockland, and straight out you're seeing 2 islands. That's Vinyl Haven and North Haven. Vinyl Haven has one of the biggest lobstering communities in the state of Maine. If you didn't know, lobstering is the lifeblood around here. It's one of the oldest continuous fisheries in the United States, dating back to the 1600s. Maine is the #1 producer in the U.S. For lobster still. They're bringing in about 90 million pounds, bringing in about over $1 billion to our industry every year, to the economy. Like you can see out there, each buoy is connected to a string of 5 traps. So he's hauling out there every day. That's like the max you can have for a commercial license. It's a pretty cool industry. There is a lobster man, actually a lobster woman, that we have to give a shout out to, Virginia Oliver. And she just celebrated her 104th birthday and is still out there hauling. She's a legend. You should look it up. It's incredible.
This week, Maine's iconic lobster lady turns 104 years old. Virginia Oliver from Rockland is known locally and globally. Oliver started lobstering with her father and older brother when she was just 8 years old, making this her 96th year hauling traps.
The lobsters that you guys are gonna eat, they took 5 to 6 years to get to that size. There's pretty strict regulations. They have to measure each one. The really big ones that have survived that long go back into the pot to reproduce. And any egg-bearing females also, not only do they go back, they get their tail notched. So fishermen in the future, if they see that notch, they have to throw that back too. So it's a pretty unique and marvelous industry. And like anything, it's facing challenges these days. As the water warms, lobsters are moving further north. This year was a little less of a haul than last year, so we'll see what happens. Striped bass are huge. There's a big striper season here. And you might, if you watch enough, you might see harbor porpoises. We have harbor porpoises. We have tons of harbor seals. These rocks right out there, they always have seals out there, which also means there's a really big fish out there too. We have a pretty big great white shark population out here.
This is Robert.
In the flesh.
Kyle or
Hello, Robert.
I was the one that found your site first.
I love it.
And subscribed. I thought before we even did, we had our house and everything.
Oh, that's so
But we
cool.
had a pull behind camper. We did, camping, but not staying in. And then we sold everything. And
Yeah, we were overseas for about 5 years.
yeah,
Really?
Yeah,
lived in
very-
Italy for 3 years and then Japan for 3 years.
Wow, good for you guys. I've never made it overseas, so
Yeah, it
that's
was nice.
we're hoping to do that.
He was in the Marines, got out, and then he worked for the Air Force.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, thank you for your service. You guys are living the life. So you guys are full time?
Yeah. We bought a RV site at like a resort up in North Georgia mountains. It's sort of like a home base. It's got a
lucked into it.
12 by 10 building, storage building on it. It's full through.
Really?
And it's pretty cool because for $600 a year, they mow your yard, free Wi-Fi, there's clubhouse, pool, all that stuff, and it's right on the North Carolina border.
The RV site that you guys have, are you able to rent that out when you're not there?
Rent it now.
Really?
Yeah, $700 a month.
That's so cool to hear.
We use that as our base and our address. Like we got our mail forwarded here.
Nice.
We forwarded down to Florida when we go down there to luckily retiring with the DOD.
Yeah.
We can stay at all the fam camps on base.
Gotcha. That's nice. Yeah. So healthcare, all good for you guys?
All good.
That's good.
Because when I retired in Japan with the DOD, we had a State Department health insurance.
Okay.
So I pay $357 a month for the two of us. Get 40 free massages a year each. We have a $300 out of pocket or copay each year, and $1,200 a year.
That's awesome.
Total out of pocket. But I'm on Medicare and all that, so I don't have to get the parts B, C, and D because I'm just going to keep that other insurance.
How do you guys feel about the mailing so far, being full time?
Mailing's been the painful part about it is the idiots that you tell, hey, this is our address, and they still mail it to the other one.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It takes 2 or 3 weeks.
100%. Yep.
To get to the thing. We were going to do like you guys did with the South Dakota.
Yeah.
And get a mailbox USA, did the whole 9 yards.
Right.
And go crazy with it. And I'm like, in Georgia, I don't know if you know this, but I mean, they crack down on that. Depending on where you're at, but the sheriff's department drive through RV parks.
Interesting.
Look for South Dakota plates.
No kidding.
You might be able to find it on like an Atlanta news thing where they.
Really?
Oh yeah, they did
Wow.
an expose on it.
That's
so
crazy.
The tax guy is trying to.
Interesting.
But
yeah.
That's only if you got a Georgia driver's license.
Right.
If you got somewhere else, a lifetime national parks pass.
Oh, you can't beat that.
Being a veteran.
What's the veteran? And then isn't there like a stipulation when you reach a certain age you can also get it? Do you know?
I'm not sure. I think that there's a senior one that you can get certain, but it was funny because we were going out there to Spokane. We pulled in the Badlands.
Yeah.
And the gal goes, "Are you military?" I said, "Ex-military." She goes, "Oh, really?" She goes, "You got your DD-214?" Oh, glove box.
Interesting.
Gave us a card.
We were camping up in North Georgia, and we're like looking at all of the camp post spots. We're like, we could become camp posts. We could do this. And our youngest daughter moved out of the house, and we're like, let's do it. Let's make a 5-year plan.
Yeah.
And the housing market in Florida was just going gangbusters, and we fast-tracked it to 22. And we've been full-timing now for 2 years.
So no sticks and bricks basically at all?
No, everything we own is with us. Everything.
Nothing in storage? Or...
Nothing in storage.
Wow, that's the way to... And it feels so freeing, right?
Oh, it's like, so...
We had a brand new house that we just had built.
Yeah, we just built the house June 20. And then we sold it June 22.
We had to postpone the closing so we didn't have to pay, so we didn't have to pay capital gains. That's how new the house was.
Wow. So that part was like, but it's still the right decision.
It was stressful kind of leading up because it was the unknown, but we're like, yeah, we're going to do this. And we spent our winters in Breckenridge, Colorado, because we're traveling bartenders. So you guys are traveling nurses, we're traveling bartenders. And Breckenridge it's just a great vibe there in the wintertime, and we'll work from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and we're done. And we make really good money to cover us for the summertime where we camp post. This is our second season here camp posting. The next summer we're going to be in Kentucky.
Okay, is it okay that some of this gets shared?
Oh, that's fine, yeah.
Because a lot of people, I know what they're going to ask is, how are you finding bartender jobs on the road?
You settle in seasonal places.
Okay, are you just
vacation
reaching out personally to these places and saying, okay.
Yeah, we, with our...
Well, we're both professionals as well. I mean, in our past careers, and, and that's makes it a little bit easier to get hired because we're just not flaky kids. We're actual adults.
Experienced,
Right.
And, we show stability and whatnot, and we settle in places that are seasonal, where they have to have seasonal help.
And it's always the areas where people like to go vacation, where they need the help.
Yeah.
So, and when they see our resumes and like, okay, professional careers and professional bartending, kind of mix it all together, they know they're going to get good help.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's good. Because the best part is at the end of the day, when we clock out, we don't think about work.
Yeah.
We're not thinking about the next day of what emails I have to reply to. And that was our big thing when we were just camping, was when we were on vacation. Especially her, she was never on vacation. It was we would be on the water kayaking, and she's sitting there on a Zoom or whatever.
Yeah, I get on a Zoom.
To be able to clock out and then not have no one could bother you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Set her on there. We got her. We're good.
Got it?
Yep. Oh man. And look at these views. Dinner and a show.
Go ahead and grab your claw.
And you said the claw is your favorite part?
That's my favorite part, personally.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, this
Twist
part.
it and break it off.
Okay.
These are soft shell, so it's easy. You can kind of do it with your fingers.
Okay.
So there is a hard shell.
There's hard shell, which is a lot harder.
Yeah,
Nothing
white
scary.
stuff.
You're doing it.
Scary.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
What do you think?
Official.
That was like a lot
Pretty
of meat.
good, right?
Mm-hmm.
We are eating lobster in Maine, guys.
Come
This
on,
is legit.
It's
This is
legit.
legit.
Because that one time we were in Maryland and we were trying to eat like whole blue Maryland crabs, and it was like not easy. And we
so
got fresh
true.
because we were so hungry.
Right, absolutely. That was not good. Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Is that me, guys?
Are these all, these are all soft shell?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's a
interesting.
season.
Okay. So tell me about the season. Like, what causes it to be soft shell?
I think it's when they molt.
Okay.
They shed their skin, right? And so they end up getting soft, and they shed their skin, or their soft skin is the new skin, and that gets very hard over time, and then it'll shed it, and then it'll be soft again.
Here we go. It's official. Lobster in Maine. No turning back. I mean, we had lobster rolls, but this is really
Similar
real.
thing happened to us with clams. Someone showed up with like a giant thing of clams. I'm like, yeah. And Drew's like, we don't know what to do with that. I was like, it's okay.
We just
Now this, I can dig.
Soft. You always want to look for the fin.
What's the fin?
That white thing,
Mhm.
because sometimes that'll stay in the meat.
Okay.
And then you go to bite down, you're like,
Oh.
what's that?
Not good, huh?
Perfect.
Look at all that.
Oh wow. I'm good. It was just those clams that day. I just didn't.
Just the clams.
Yeah.
The clams were a little too much. You know, the consistency of clams, mussels, are a little hard. What do you think? Do you like them?
I love clams.
You do?
I don't like mussels.
Whew. These were like the official clams. I don't even know. They had like, how would you explain it? It was like a long
neck.
Yeah.
Peel off the
Ooh,
skin
baby.
there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't eat that thing. What is that? Oh, geez. It's getting right in there, aren't you?
Ooh, what is that?
Oh, that's freaky. What? Do you eat that? Maybe it's like the tail of a shrimp. Don't eat the tail.
It's just like the texture's different than what I remember.
That's my favorite, but you gotta be careful because they're gristles. Sometimes they have like sand in the belly.
Okay.
And if they don't feed them cornstarch, you'll have like sand. So you'll be like chomping along, and all of a sudden you'll hit a piece of sand with your teeth, and it's like,
ooh. Yeah, that would not feel good.
Yeah.
Such a cool experience.
When I thought we were coming up to Maine, I did not expect we to do any of this.
You didn't think we'd eat lobster?
I thought we'd eat a lobster, you know, like, try a piece of lobster. But we're going in head first here, just diving in.